You book a cruise for $800. You think you're being smart. By the time the trip ends, you've spent $1,600. And the worst part? They planned it that way from the beginning. Today, 5 cruise lines that are quietly robbing you blind. And 5 that are actually worth every dollar. Let's start with the one charging you luxury prices. For a ship that's older than your iPhone. Disney Cruise Line. The Disney Magic launched in 1998. The Disney Wonder 1999. Both ships have been renovated. Both ships are still fundamentally old. Smaller. Fewer attractions. Less of everything that makes a modern cruise worth it. Now here's the thing. On Disney's newer ships, the Wish, the Treasure, the Destiny, that brand premium makes sense. Those ships are impressive. But on the Magic and the Wonder, you are paying a 2025 price for a 1998 ship. And then there's the Wi-Fi situation. In early 2026, no warning, no email, Disney quietly raised internet prices. For $1 more per day on the standard package. $7 more per day if you want streaming. And you can't even pre-purchase it at home. You find out the price on the ship when you're already in the middle of the ocean. For a family with kids, Wi-Fi alone becomes a serious expense on top of an already premium price tag. There's also something most Disney passengers never think about before they book. Disney's entertainment infrastructure, the character experiences, the Broadway-level production shows, the themed dining, costs an enormous amount of money to build and maintain. That cost doesn't disappear. It gets distributed across every single passenger on every single sailing. Which means adults traveling without children are quietly subsidizing an experience built almost entirely for families with kids. A retired couple on the Disney Wonder is paying for Elsa's costume, the character breakfast, and the kids' splash zone, whether they use any of it or not. No other cruise line in this price range asks non-family passengers to carry that kind of infrastructure cost so visibly. Disney's Magic is real on the right ship. On the Magic and the Wonder, you're paying for the logo. Next, the one that makes cheap look expensive once you're already inside the process. MSC Cruises. $85 per day. For 2 people. Caribbean cruise. That number sounds incredible, and that's exactly the point. MSC's entire booking system is built around one psychological trick. Show you the lowest number possible, then make that number feel insufficient once you're inside the process. Their cabin tiers, Bella, Fantastica, Aurea, work exactly like airline seat classes. Bella is what you're booking when you see that $85 headline. And Bella means fixed dining times you cannot change. Cabin locations you cannot choose. Paid room service. Water on board priced higher than you'd expect. It's designed to feel just uncomfortable enough that you upgrade. That's not an accident. That's the business model. Behavioral economists call this the commitment spending effect. MSC has engineered the Bella tier specifically to trigger that feeling. Every limitation in Bella exists because a more comfortable version of it is available 1 tier up for more money. And then, May 11, 2026. Less than a month's notice. MSC raises gratuity rates. Standard cabins go from $16 to $17 per person per day. Yacht Club suites jump from $20 to $23. Passengers who already booked had almost no time to prepay at the old rate. That's how MSC works. Quietly. After you've already committed. Then, the one that makes money from where you sleep and how fast your Wi-Fi runs. Carnival Cruise Line. December 2025. No announcement. Carnival changes their Wi-Fi pricing, and passengers only find out when they log in to prepay. The multi-device premium plan, 4 devices, streaming included, now costs $90 per day. On a 7-night trip, that's $630. For internet. Then the gratuities. As of April 2026, $17 per person per day in standard cabins. Family of 4. 7 nights. That's $476 in automatic charges before you order a single drink. But here is something almost nobody talks about when they book Carnival. The cheaper cabins on their ships are not randomly placed. On most Carnival ships, the theater sits on Deck 5. The nightclub sits on Deck 5. Which means Deck 6 cabins, consistently among the lower-priced options on the ship, are sitting directly above both venues. Music, bass, crowd noise traveling up through the floor from below, late into the night. Passengers on cruise forums have documented this across multiple Carnival ships. Carnival Breeze, Carnival Panorama, Carnival Radiance. The pattern is consistent. Deck 6 cabins above the nightclub are among the noisiest on the ship and among the cheapest to book. On the newer Excel-class ships, the entertainment venues moved up to Deck 7, which means the noise problem moved up to Deck 8. And if you book a guarantee cabin, the cheapest category Carnival offers, you don't get to choose your room at all. Carnival assigns it. You could end up next to the engine room, above the nightclub, beside the crew corridor, or below the pool deck. The savings on a guarantee cabin can evaporate quickly when you spend 7 nights unable to sleep. And then there's the one that actually got people. May 2026, Carnival's website had a pricing glitch. Showed way lower fares. People booked immediately. Carnival canceled every single one of those bookings. Offered onboard credit for a future trip. You know what airlines do when they have a pricing error? They honor it. Carnival does not. Then, the one that turned a private island into a paid attraction and called it a perfect day. Royal Caribbean. Perfect day at Coco Cay. That's their private island. The name makes it sound like it's all included. It is not. The water park, separate ticket. The zip line, separate ticket. The hideaway beach, that's the adults-only section of the island you already paid to visit. Separate entrance fee. Family of 4 spending a full day there? Add $150 to $200 to the bill. For an island that came with the cruise you already bought. Wi-Fi runs $89 per day. And Royal Caribbean has publicly admitted the streaming is unreliable. $89 per day for a product they admit doesn't fully work. Then there's the suite system. 3 tiers, C-Class, Sky-Class, Star-Class. The Royal Genie personal assistant, the included drinks, the reserved seating, that's Star-Class. Most people book C-Class because that's what shows up at a normal suite price. The gap between what suite sounds like and what C-Class actually delivers, that's where the disappointment lives. And then there is the app. Royal Caribbean's mobile app uses AI to analyze passenger data, demographics, booking history, and real-time behavior on board, to send personalized recommendations for shore excursions, specialty dining, and onboard activities. This is not a coincidence, and it is not a convenience feature. Royal Caribbean's own data shows that repeat guests spend 25% more per trip than first-time passengers. And the app is the primary tool designed to keep them spending throughout the voyage. It is a hyper-personalized spending system designed to identify what you're likely to buy and put it in front of you at exactly the right moment. Every notification, every recommendation, every flash deal that appears on your screen has been calculated to maximize what you spend before the trip ends. And if you order room service, $7.95 delivery fee, plus an automatic 18% gratuity on top of that fee. A charge on a ship where you already paid a premium fare. And the one that built an empire on a single word, free. Norwegian Cruise Line, the worst of them all. Their campaign is called Free at Sea. Free drinks, free dining, free Wi-Fi, free excursions. The word free is everywhere. Here is what free actually means on Norwegian. Every drink from that free beverage package. Automatic 18% gratuity. Every single drink. Every single day. The drinks aren't free. They're a gratuity machine. For a couple on a 7-night cruise, just the gratuities on those free drinks add $200 to $300 to your final bill. Money you never expected to pay when you saw that word on the ad. Then there's Harvest Cay, Norwegian's private island in Belize. The moment you step off the ship onto their own island, your drink package stops working. Full price. For everything. Most passengers find out standing on the beach looking at a menu they weren't prepared for. And the Vibe Beach Club, the adults-only sun deck on the ship you already paid for? That's up to $99 per person per day extra. Carnival and Disney give you the adults-only area for free. Norwegian charges for it. Norwegian stock fell 24% in a single month in early 2026. They have 17 new ships on order. Their debt is climbing while competitors pay theirs down. A cruise line under that kind of financial pressure doesn't cut costs in the marketing budget. They cut them in the charges you pay after you board. Now, the other side of this list. 5 cruise lines that actually deliver what they promise. Starting with the one that gives you a Real beach and nothing hidden underneath it. Holland America. Their private island Half Moon Cay. 2.5 miles of white sand beach. No admission fees. No water park tickets. No second purchase at the gate. You get off the ship. You're on the beach. That's it. The main dining room quality is rated above the industry average in passenger satisfaction. On most cruise lines, the main dining room is the backup plan, the thing you eat when you can't get a reservation somewhere that costs extra. On Holland America, passengers consistently say the base food is good enough that spending extra on specialty dining feels optional. Not necessary. It's a quieter cruise line. Older demographic. No gimmicks. But what they say is included is actually included. Then, the one where specialty dining means exactly that. Specialty. And free. Oceania Cruises. Since January 2025, every specialty restaurant on board. No extra charge. No reservation fees. Every gourmet venue on the ship is just part of the fare. On a 10-night sailing for two, visiting specialty restaurants every other night, on a mainstream line that's $500 to $1,000 added to your bill. On Oceania, that number is zero. There your world included package covers unlimited Starlink Wi-Fi, gratuities, in-room dining, coffees and teas, non-alcoholic beverages, fitness classes, and laundry. Oceania puts the total value of those inclusions at over $1,800 per cabin on a 10-day sailing, compared to what other premium lines charge separately for the same things. The fare is higher than Carnival or MSC. But the gap between what you pay at booking and what you actually spend at the end, one of the smallest in the industry. Then, the one that gets it right but only on the right ships. Princess Cruises. The Sun Princess launched in 2024. Star Princess in 2025. Sphere Class, 4,300 passengers, 21 decks, dual-fuel engines. These are the ships that matter. The premier package on these ships includes gratuities, 4-device Wi-Fi, unlimited specialty dining, and a shore excursion credit that scales with your voyage length. $100 credit for a 6 to 9 night cruise. $200 for 10 to 20 nights. $300 for 21 nights or more. The bill at the end of a Princess Premier sailing on a Sphere-class ship looks very close to the number you saw at booking. On the ships that matter, Princess delivers. One thing to know before you book though. Two passengers can book the same sailing, same ship, same package name, and get completely different benefits depending on when they purchased. Princess changed the package in July 2025 and quietly removed several perks at the same time. Premium desserts, juice bar access, fitness classes, gone. Same package name, different product. Know exactly what version you're buying before you commit. Then, the one built specifically to close the gap between the price you see and the price you pay. Virgin Voyages. Virgin was built specifically to solve one problem, the gap between what you expect to pay and what you actually spend. Base fare includes all meals across multiple dining venues, including specialty restaurants. Basic beverages included. Wi-Fi included. The bar tab carries over from the ship. Same drinks, same prices, complimentary lunch. No reset at the gate. One update. As of October 2025, Virgin now charges $22 per person per day in gratuities, or $20 if you prepay. That's a real change from their original model and worth knowing. But the layered charges that define Norwegian, Carnival, and MSC, largely absent on Virgin. Adults only. If you're traveling without kids and you want a cruise where the price you see is close to the price you pay, Virgin is one of the most honest structures in the industry. And finally, the one where the price and the product actually say the same thing. Celebrity Cruises Edge-class ships. The Retreat program. The Infinite Veranda staterooms are 23% larger than Celebrity's own previous fleet. That's not marketing language, that's from their own data. On a 7-night cruise, that extra 23% of space is something you feel every single day. The Lumini Restaurant. A private dining venue where the menu changes completely every day. Passengers who've eaten at Norwegian's Haven, MSC's Yacht Club, Royal Caribbean's Coastal Kitchen. They consistently put Lumini in a separate category. The difference in food quality is not marginal. The Retreat package includes butler, dedicated concierge, premium beverage package, streaming Wi-Fi, prepaid gratuities, minibar, upgraded room service, reserved theater seating, and complimentary laundry. The fare difference between Celebrity's Retreat and a comparable Royal Caribbean suite? 10 to 15%. For that difference, you get a room 23% bigger, food in a completely different league, and a package where virtually nothing is hidden underneath. The price and the product actually align. In this industry, that is not the default. On Celebrity Edge Class, it is. 10 cruise lines. One pattern. The ones that frustrate passengers most have the largest gap between what they advertise and what you actually pay when the trip ends. Norwegian built a campaign around the word free and structured every fee so the free perks generate revenue. Carnival keeps entry prices low and builds the real margin through Wi-Fi charges, cabin placement, and automatic gratuities. MSC shows you a number so low that every competitor looks expensive, then builds a tier system designed to make that number feel insufficient once you're already in. Royal Caribbean built an app that learns what you're likely to spend and puts it in front of you at exactly the right moment. Oceania includes almost everything before you board. Celebrities retreat prices the premium experience into the fare without a hidden layer underneath. Virgin was designed specifically to close that gap. Before you book any cruise, don't ask what the fare is. Ask what is actually included in this fare, and what will I be charged for once I'm on that ship. That one question tells you everything about which side of this list you're dealing with. If you've ever been hit by a charge on a cruise you never saw coming, drop the cruise line and the amount in the comments, because I guarantee you are not alone. And if this video saved you money before your next booking, share it with someone who's about to make the same mistake. They'll thank you for it. Subscribe to Cruise Verdict for more breakdowns like this one. Because in this industry, the more you know before you board, the more you keep in your pocket.